Hey everyone, while having a great day, welcome back to the Critic Sensei YouTube channel. Today we're going to dive into some more controversy in regards to Leslye Headland and her response to criticism for The Acolyte Season 1. So let's start off with the season finale of The Acolyte. I made a full video. If you guys didn't see my last video, take a look at that. It was a full breakdown of that video. And to be honest, it was a disaster. It was the worst Star Wars project, not just episode 8, but the whole Acolyte. It was the worst Star Wars project to ever be made. Storytelling was absolutely horrible. The acting was subpar. Plot holes were so bad. Episode 8 did not do anything. None of the plot holes were filled. The story was not resolved. The actions of the characters didn't make any sense. Does anyone know why the gopher or the tracker sabotaged Soul's ship? There was no reason for that, and there was a lot of stuff like that in this episode and the whole series that really made no sense. In Leslye Headland's own words, she thinks her storytelling is amazing. So after watching episodes 1 through 7, even before episode 8, we know there was nothing that was going to save the show. But for whatever reason, in the season finale, they put Darth Plagueis and Yoda, thinking that this would sway the fans to like the show, even though the first 7 episodes were absolutely horrible. Episode 8 was honestly the worst. And for me, it's between episode 3 and episode 8. They were both pretty horrible. Both Leslye Headland and Kathleen Kennedy, they are under fire right now, and they should be. And they're doing so much damage control, but with them doing so much damage control after every episode, now what they're doing at the end of this series, it's so bad, and it's honestly making things so much worse. Especially Leslye Headland, she has a history of clashing with fans, arguing with them about her work, but it's the fans who are lining her pockets. It is the fans who watch the shows. So if you're going to push your fans away, you're going to get this kind of backlash. It is what it is. And the things she's saying right now, her actions, it's like a stubborn child almost. It almost reflects her storytelling because honestly, I'm not a writer, but I could have wrote a better story. And think about this. She had 8 hours, so 8 episodes to create a cohesive story. And what she's created was horrible. At the end, you can tell they wanted the Jedis to be bad, but with Osha, May, even with Soul, you didn't know who the bad guy was. They had some weird sexual tension between the Sith and Osha, and I don't even know. There's so much stuff in there that doesn't feel like Star Wars. Honestly, all the backlash she's getting is warranted. Acolyte has been criticized as a disgrace to what George Lucas built over the decades, the past 40 years. Instead of honoring that legacy, she completely disgraced it. By not honoring George Lucas's legacy, it feels like the creators of the show, Leslye Headland and Kathleen Kennedy, they're definitely alienating both hardcore and casual fans. So Headland's response to the backlash has been to double down on her vision, insisting that her fans don't simply understand what she's trying to achieve. She claims that episode 8 reveals the true essence of the Acolyte, but many fans remain unconvinced. Also, in a recent statement, Headland expressed frustration with the criticism, calling fans uninformed and accusing them of not grasping the lore, when she's been breaking the lore since episode 1, one thing after another, from really small things to huge things, like having Plagueis and Yoda at the end, insinuating that Yoda was part of this whole conspiracy with these dead Jedi and the Sith. So Leslye Headland drew a parallel between her portrayal of Yoda and the controversial depiction of Luke in The Last Jedi, which did not sit well with any of the viewers. She also emphasized her commitment to diverging from George Lucas's vision, arguing that Star Wars needs to evolve. This stance of hers has just made the fans so much more angry and made the backlash so much worse. She's even stated in interviews that she wanted to change Star Wars, and she basically pushed George Lucas out, wanted her vision to be Star Wars, and now with all this backlash she's getting, she's pretty much blaming it on the fans at this point, her and Amandla Stenberg. They are both blaming the fans for their failure, and at this point, what else could we do? I can make these videos and share my opinion, but the ratings speak for itself. 14% Rotten Tomatoes. And on top of that, Leslye Headland is saying to ignore the reviews because we're all bigots and the reviews are all fake. So we all know that Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland focus on DEI, which is perfectly fine. It feels like they're using it as a shield right now for all the criticism they're getting. They're saying that people that don't like the show are against diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is obviously not true. I'm sure some are, but not everyone. Star Wars is a series that is beloved by hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people over the years. And like I said, it seems like Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland are using DEI as a shield in response to all the backlash for their poor storytelling, poor character development, and on top of that, major plot holes they had in this series. Also, Leslye Headland's comments about review bombing and toxic fans has stirred up a lot of controversy as well. Basically what Leslie's saying is all this negative feedback is a coordinated effort to undermine her show, rather it being genuine criticism. Definitely gaslighting us, and her dismissive attitude definitely has had a poor taste in all the fans' mouth, and it made the divide so much more. And you would think as a creator, especially of Star Wars, any project she's in charge of in the future, it's going to be automatically disliked no matter what happens because how she's acting. No matter what, you do not blame your fans for your failure. She shouldn't be blaming anyone but herself, maybe Kathleen Kennedy, and even Bob Iger for greenlighting all this. It's really hard to see how Star Wars can recover from this. Honestly, as long as the current creators are in charge, Kathleen Kennedy, Leslye Headland, if they're in charge, and if Disney in general, if they're going to keep creating Star Wars material, I can't see it getting any better. And the only way I can see things changing for the better is if Disney, Bob Iger cleared house. Because the people they have in charge, it's obvious that they are not fans of Star Wars. They have no passion for it. They don't know the lore. It's obvious they know some surface level stuff about Star Wars, but these aren't the people that should be in charge of it. The people in charge of Star Wars should be passionate people that know about Star Wars, know the lore, and are real fans of the franchise. And at this point, I don't have much hope for any new Star Wars projects that are coming out in the future. At this point, Leslye Headland and Kathleen Kennedy show no sign of changing their approach to Star Wars. And this is definitely the biggest obstacle to get Star Wars back to its former glory. Ultimately, the disconnect between the creators and the fans has never been this big ever with Star Wars. Star Wars has always been about great storytelling, great character development, good action, and all around a great atmosphere for everyone. And Star Wars is not just for boys, it's for girls, it's for old people, young people, gay, straight, doesn't matter. Star Wars is for everyone. And with these creators of Star Wars, with Kathleen Kennedy, Leslye Headland, they're trying to change Star Wars in a way that's not for the better. Obviously, with a 14% Rotten Tomatoes, now Leslye Headland saying these reviews are fake, blaming the fans for her failure, blaming the fans for these reviews. A lot of them are valid criticism. Instead of taking these reviews to try to better herself, she puts the blame on other people just like a child. I know I posed this question to you all before, but I'll ask you guys it again. Do you think there's any way Star Wars can be saved? Or there's any way it could be redeemed, especially after the Acolyte? Or is Star Wars far too gone and there's no way to get back to its former glory? Alright guys, I'm on the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. So please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a comment down below if you like this style of video. And leave a comment down below what you guys think the state of Star Wars and Disney right now. And what you guys think is going to become of these future projects. Are they going to be good, bad? And honestly, in my opinion, if they're not making any changes with the creators, it's just going to be one bad project after another. With Bob Iger acknowledging that they've been making more quantity instead of focusing on quality, hopefully we see some kind of change. But honestly, I don't have my hopes up, and we'll see how things play out. And I do respond back to every single comment I get. Peace out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.